Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the POD podcast by Gulshan. And today, I don't know how many people have asked me, when are you bringing Abdullah's mother? So, Abdullah is an Emirati artist who's autistic, who's a savant, and I've been mentoring him from the age of 18. And yeah, today I finally got her.
Finally got.
So, welcome, Amal.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today with you, Gulshan.
No, it's totally an honor to have you because
Thank
I'm
you.
telling you, everybody wants to know who's behind Abdullah. And we're going to start asking you questions about. So, how many children do you have?
I have four. Abdullah's the youngest.
And so you had the experience of having absolutely normal children.
Of course, three of them.
And then when did you start feeling that this is not right or something is going amiss with Abdullah?
The problem is that we're talking about, let's say, Abdullah's 31 years old now. So we're talking about 31 years. We did not know nothing about the autistic children, something new for everyone these days. So what made me discover this late, because he was normal. He was a normal child. He wasn't hyperactive, nothing at all. Just what I noticed that he has not spoken until he reaches the age of 4. And he started with a few words.
So till then you didn't do anything?
Nothing, because he was normal, completely normal. Okay, and one of my sisters told me this is normal because some children, they don't speak early, speak late. One of her sons did. But as a mother, I said, no, I had already 3. There's something wrong with this child. So here I started the journey with him, with Abdullah.
He has said that he used to draw at a very early age.
Yes.
So was he drawing before?
Before, when he was 4, 3, because he couldn't speak, so he has to hold my hand and take me wherever he wants to go and point at the thing. And I used to tell him, no, Abdullah, you have to say, for example, an apple. He opens the fridge and he just pointed at the apple. I said, no, you have to say an apple. An apple, I was repeating like a parrot. And then I noticed, no, I have to do something. So I started searching for psychiatrists, psychologists, speech therapists, and I found some. And I took him from one place to another, one place to another.
Were you scared at that time? Like, what is it? What if he's not?
Not really, because still I didn't know that he's autistic. I just said that he has, as a normal child, because, his behavior was normal. It's just that he hasn't spoken. So I've started, as I told you, looking for therapists and all this. So I took him to an English therapist, speech therapist.
You and I went to the same therapist.
Really? She's in Jumeirah somewhere. It's just like a dream. I can't remember. If you ask me, where is she? I don't know.
So we went to the same speech therapist.
Yeah. And I took him to one psychiatrist or psychologist, I don't remember, Lebanese, in Hayat Regency Hotel in Dera.
That's where I used to live.
I have no idea. Okay, and then I took him to one doctor called Sangania, somewhere in Jumeirah, Sangania. And then Sangania took some of his, all of his painting, because he was drawing, so I took his drawing to her, and she took them all. She was amazed. Can I keep them? I said, keep them.
Oh.
I still remember the egg yolk and the egg white, the way he drew it. Oh my God, it's still in my mind, that picture.
And was he watching a lot of TV and all that?
He used to sit quietly, isolate himself from everyone. He doesn't communicate with anyone. He just sits and watch. And he draws sometimes. So...
because now he has this American accent.
Yes, because with my kids, usually I speak 2 languages, Arabic and English. So they pick up both languages. But with Abdullah, because he has special needs, so I spoke just English with him. So he started, because Arabic is difficult, especially for his case. So he started with picking some words. But what I noticed after, let's say 5, 6, there's no eye contact. Yeah. So I used to tell him, Abdullah, look at my face, look in my eyes like this. And he repeats. For example, Mama, look at the sun. He goes, Mama, look at the sun. And so when I used to take him to school, always they go to petrol station, they have like a tiny supermarkets. I said, Abdullah, he keeps repeating, Mama, take me to this. I said, okay. And he keeps repeating. So I used to tell him, Abdullah, if you repeat the sentence more than once, I will not take you.
But you had no understanding of autism.
Nothing, zero.
You didn't know about
Nothing,
that they
nothing.
repeat and nothing.
Nothing.
There was no way of
Yeah,
finding out.
no. So I took him to a doctor in London as well. One friend advised me to take Abdullah to her. She told me, Amal, take him to, when he goes to school, just let him go to a normal school. Yeah, not to a special needs school. So I took him to a normal
But
school.
he went to one school earlier and he was not happy there.
To Al Ittihad school, you mean? Yeah. I took him for, no, he was happy.
Okay.
But the problem was the language.
Oh,
so
it was
when he got
Arabic.
to grade 4, one of the teachers told me, Amal, we cannot have him for grade 4 because we have so many subjects in Arabic, he wouldn't cope with it. So I advised you to take him to an English school.
Okay.
So I found one in place in Dubai, just for 1 year. It was like a tiny villa, but it was good for Abdullah. After they closed that school, so I was struggling again with the school. So one of my cousins advised me to take him to one of the schools in Mirdif, where I live. So he finished from grade 5 until 12. He continued in that school.
And was he happy going to school, and did he do homework, and what was his life?
He used to do a little bit homework. Yeah, I used to force him, to be honest with you. He didn't like reading nor writing, just drawing. So I had to sit with him and force him sometimes, and as a mother, with any child, every child, yeah.
And how was it with the other kids? How was it with Faisal and Sheikha and Haifa?
And Haifa.
Because Haifa and Abdullah are quite close in age. So
Almost,
then all your
almost
attention.
5 years, yeah. He was close to Sheikha, my second daughter. He was very close to Sheikha. So to me and Sheikha. And the nanny, of course, because she used to take care of him. No
But
one
he
else
used
in the
to
house.
manage his daily living things on his own, like showering and wearing his own clothes. He needed help for all that.
He needed help always, yeah.
So till what
Till,
age?
let's say, the age of, I can't remember exactly, but maybe 10, 12, I've started putting him alone. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do it himself.
Because, since I have been working with him and I've traveled with him, his hygiene is like super.
Yeah.
It's not like you get any kind of smell from him. He's always clean.
Nothing, he's always
clean,
clean,
showered. He's, he takes care of himself.
Yes, he does.
And I think we owe that to you. Because a lot of people say, oh, my son has autism and he can't manage. But you have taught him everything that, this is important.
Once you teach them something, khalas, to them it's like a routine.
Yeah.
They will keep following it.
So if, when I've traveled with him, when we went to LA and all, we've gone for 12, 15 days. He carries that many socks, that many underwears, and
he's so tidy, by the way. Very tidy.
So and the first time we went, I wasn't sure, okay, are they going to how are they going to manage? So I did go into their room once.
Okay.
But it was so organized.
I know.
I said, can you come and do mine as well? Because all their clothes were hanging, the ones that were folded. I mean, it's amazing.
He's very well organized, yeah.
So did he have like meltdowns and, crying, I want this and I have to have it?
He used to do this one. Until now, sometimes when he wants something, he insists on it. I'm better now. But it depends. I spoiled him for a while, to be honest with you, because I felt sorry and he's different than his siblings. But, and then I came to a point, I said, no. I have to stop that. Otherwise, I will destroy him. And instead of...
because...
yes, spoiling is not good. So I used to say, no, yes, even if he cries. I said no, I said yes.
And when did you see this? His art was always a fascination for him?
Because he did not speak at that time, so he used to draw and show me
the picture. Do you have those drawings?
Not really, because as I told you, the doctor took all of them. I have one when he was in grade 1 or 2, maybe. Yeah, unfortunately.
Amal.
Yeah, I know.
That book, if he put his, over the years.
I know.
So was he copying at that time or was he doing from his head? Do you remember?
Both. But most of the time from his imaginations. Like he knows when he breaks an egg, the yolk and so he did it from his mind. and sometimes he from the cartoon.
Cartoons, yeah. So everyone right now feels, oh, you shouldn't let a person on the autism spectrum, a child or an adult, watch cartoons. But what I have seen, Abdullah has learned maximum watching cartoons.
Yes, nothing else.
So I think it's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. Of course, he does go to the cinema and he chooses his own films and this, but
Yeah.
cartoon is until now he does.
But how is he now with the family? Is he, is he on a WhatsApp group with all of you?
Yes, of course.
Does he participate
Yes, he
in
does.
family functions?
He does. Yeah.
And how does that make you feel, to see him,
Well, honestly, to be with you, I have worked hard with him.
Very hard.
Very hard. So,
and you've done well.
yeah. So I remember also what. Oh my God, I forgot what. Something to do with him as well. Oh my God, it's gone out of my mind.
It's
I was
fine.
going to say, yeah.
So, to see that today he's a strapping young, very nice looking, funny. Everybody, wherever we go, they say, hey, Abdulla Lutfi. They all recognize him. Everybody knows Abdullah now. And he, with his autism, cannot even be bothered.
I know.
It's okay, you know me, fine, big deal.
Yes,
It could be the president who comes to him and he says, oh, he's the president. Okay. He's
and
so...
he mentions that I am autistic.
But he is not, I've become so big and famous. Nothing's gone to his head, But for us to see him where he's reached.
We're so proud of him now.
So proud. So proud. Somebody's asking for a small canvas from him.
Okay.
And she said, my budget is only 500 dirhams. I said, you can't get an Abdulla Lutfi for that much.
Yes.
You have to pay more.
Exactly.
And she's saying, no, please. I said, okay, you can get a print, but not original.
Proper, yeah.
So, but every company wants him. I don't know how many people, they keep calling, they say, is Abdullah available? It's a big honor to see him. And the way he's speaking now, when he did the podcast with me, I said, wow, that is amazing. For a minute I'd forgotten, not a minute, for that whole half an hour that we did it, that, oh, I'm sitting with Abdullah who has autism. He's put his hand like that in a very powerful pose and he just spoke.
He's very confident of himself.
Very.
Yeah.
And he doesn't bother him. You don't like me, that's your problem.
That's your problem, exactly. What I was going to say, and I forgot, I remember now. I never hit him in the house. Always, when I go out, I take him with me. Even sometimes, most of the times, he embarrasses me, the way he talks, the way he screams sometimes, but I didn't care. As if I was the only one in the coffee shop or the only one in the mall. So he used to not misbehave, but he's the character in this. He used to, sometimes when I take him to a restaurant or something, he used to say, hey, you. I said, no, Mama, you don't say hey, you say please. I used to teach him and repeat like a parrot. So always I used to take him out.
But he has impeccable manners.
Yes.
He eats so well with fork and knife. He's really good.
Yeah.
Except when the payment has to be made, he says, I'm not paying. But I do make him sometimes. I say, no, you can also pay. We're all earning. You can also pay. So he says, but you invited me, you have to pay. But we're just teaching him, how to hold the door always. And he says, why do I have to hold it for you? You do it yourself. I said, no, hold the door. So did you not... Because when I met Abdullah, you had come to the studio where I was working, Mawahib. And I remember both of you walking in and you said, this is my son and he's very good at art and he's very good with computers.
Yes.
Now, I am not the best with computers.
Okay.
And then I said, Abdullah, come, let's go and talk. And you were sitting and talking with Wemi, the director. And I said, so are you good with computers? He said, didn't you hear what my mom said? I am. Okay. So first day only, he fired me. And then he said, I'm going to sit in this room. I don't want anyone to disturb me and get out. And the next day he told me, get your fat ass out of this room. I said, okay. And I just quietly left. I was scared of him. And he's a big guy.
Yes, I know.
So I decided, okay, I'm not, going to. But then every day he would say, get out of my room. I said, sorry, this is not your room. We are so many of us. Everyone has a right to this place. And then he came to me, he said, by the way, what am I doing here? So I said, see, it's an art studio for adults with disabilities. So are you the teacher here? He said, no, you are. I said, okay, then Abdullah, what are you doing here? So he said, I don't know. So I said, you're an adult with a disability. So he said, I have a disability. I said, yeah, you have autism. It's not a disability, but you have autism. Your brain is wired differently. He said, oh, that's what it is. And then,
Yes. He look at his
he
hand
still,
always.
he still
shakes
does
his hand
it,
on
yeah.
his.
So
in
I
front of
said,
his face.
what are you doing with your hand on your face? And he said, I don't know why I do it. So I said, it's called stimming. And it's okay to stim. He said, it is. I'm not allowed. He said, my dad gets that, why are you talking to yourself? I said, no, here you do whatever you want. Nobody's going to say anything. But when you leave the studio,
Yes,
stop doing it. And he was not even doing it in the studio. Yeah, he would do his hand. He still does the hand.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Still.
But that's about it, And it was such an easy explanation for him. And then he said, okay, so these, I'm not like them. I said,
Yes, he used to make fun.
and he would say, like, Down syndrome, what is this? I'm not like them. I said, no, you're not. You have something else. You have something called autism. And that has really helped him understand himself, And now he just openly talks about it. He's not embarrassed.
No, he's not anymore.
And it's fine. So when you are traveling with him, I know now things have changed. You can send him on his own.
Yeah.
When you go to London, he knows how to come. He
does,
goes
yeah.
for a walk at the Hyde
He
Park.
takes a taxi. He takes Uber.
Yeah.
He goes everywhere alone. I don't go with him in London when we travel to London. He does everything by himself.
So, but how does that make you feel?
Happy, to be honest with you. Yani my journey succeeded.
It has.
Yeah. That time because I haven't finished university, I did it after I got married. So Abdullah at that age, he was maybe in grade 4 or 3 or 5, something, I can't remember. So I used to spend most of the time in university taking courses in this. And Abdullah needs someone with him in the house, and no one can make him study except me. And it's difficult, especially with Arabic language and Islamic education. So I said no, either Abdullah or myself. So I gave up university. I said I can always do it any time at any age. So I just gave up the university. I stayed with him in the house.
Your whole family is always there.
Yes.
Everybody is supporting him. It's wonderful to see that kind of support from the very beginning.
Yes.
You all have made time. His sisters come. His dad is there, brother is there, Auntie Fakriya is there,
Yes.
her daughter is there, her son-in-law. Everybody is supporting him, and it's very rare to see this kind of support. It's really, and not that he is appreciating it so much.
I know, Abdullah said he's very mean.
I said they've come, so he says, yeah, what's the big deal? But he doesn't understand that they're all coming for him. Nobody is coming for anything else. They come for him. And initially you all were just buying all his work.
I know.
Which was...
as a help.
But now he doesn't need that help anymore.
No.
He's on his own. His commission, he's really doing well. So many people want him. I haven't even told you, there was a lady who called, I'm not saying which country,
Okay.
but she called from the tourism of that country. She said, can Abdullah come and help us draw things what he sees in our country, and also say whether it's autism friendly or not.
Okay.
And so they're going to pay him for that, invite him. He's going to stay there and us. I'm loving it, you know.
Yeah.
And they want Abdullah to represent UAE. It's all these
Yes,
are such big
yes,
honors,
yes,
you
of
know.
course, of course. We thank the government as well, United Arab Emirates, for supporting the
Yeah.
special need children financially, physically, emotionally.
And Abdullah gets all the government departments.
Yes.
They all say we have to support an Emirati artist. And and then when I tell them that y'all can't make so many changes, this is so now we've got a contract made with the lawyer.
Okay.
He said, no, it can't go back
Can't
and
be,
forth. With
yes,
Abdullah,
yes,
he gets upset. So you have to understand that he's on the spectrum and we can't keep changing. You have to
yes.
give a detailed brief with him. And he's really doing well. It's such an honor
I
to,
know, we're all happy. Finally, we did something with Abdullah.
of course, he wants to save his money and buy his own car.
I know,
Inshallah, that will happen very soon. It might
I
just
know.
happen.
He's chewing my brain, actually, and his father's brain with the messages.
No, that is what because Abdullah likes to change his mind
I
all the
know.
time. So today he likes this car.
Tomorrow he changes
Tomorrow
his
he
mind.
changes. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
keep telling him, send us. Then you see how many changes you make. I'm just having fun. And so what do you see, Abdullah's future? What do you want for him?
Now, thank God that he relies on himself. I was worried about this one. He drives, he goes wherever he wants to go, he buys, he sells,
But when he
but
started driving, were you scared?
a bit. I used to call him and he used to scream at me, Mom, 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 I'm not a kid, I'm not a child. So I don't call him anymore as much as I used to do before. So just have you reached? Okay. Are you back? Yes, that's it. A few words only. Abdullah, when he gets sometimes in a bad mood. So
What else? What do you see him? How do you see him living with
with a,
alone?
alone.
Amal, we are not going to
Yeah,
be
yeah, I
there
know, no, no.
forever.
Alone,
So
I don't think so. I don't think so. And even to get married for him, I don't find it that easy. Abdullah's mind. Even if I, let's say, choose
a girl.
same, yeah. I don't know how can they cope together. It's not easy when I think of it. Each one, yani the man always takes care of the wife, and but for them, they cannot get it into their head. So as a wife or a husband, I've tried. And Abdullah with the, you know him better now. So to live alone, no, he cannot. I don't think so. He needs somebody always with him in the house.
And I don't know, as an Emirati,
Yeah.
are there any like homes? Would you put him in a home if there was like an assisted place where he goes there and he lives there and he is supervised, but he has his own things? And would you, because we don't have
You
that
mean
here
he lives alone in his own house?
with other people,
Why with other people?
with other people on the spectrum?
Okay.
Because abroad they have that. They have
But I don't know.
assisted
I
living.
never thought of it. But do you think this is a good idea?
A very good idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I never thought of it,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
So, they all have their own rooms.
Okay.
And then they have one common kitchen.
Okay.
And they have a common dining room.
Okay.
When I went to Netherlands with
Yes.
Wemi, we went into these homes to
Okay.
see how do they live. So there are different disabilities.
Okay.
And they're all adults. Some have their parents alive, some don't. So they all go to work
Okay.
in the day. Then they come back. Then they have their, like today, these 3 people will be cooking. So one day before, they have to make what are the ingredients required. They have to go and buy it.
Okay.
Then they come back. They have to make it.
Okay.
And they have to serve everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's their turn.
Okay.
Then the next day, 3 other people will be doing it. And they have to take care of their own clothes, wash and iron and whatever. They have to sort all that out.
Okay.
But they're supervised. It's not like
Yes,
completely on
yes.
their own. I think that's such a requirement in this country, and it would really help.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we are parents. We're not going to be there forever.
Forever. True.
Though Sheikha
True.
has said, you know, Abdullah's
True,
elder
true.
sister, that of course, that's not even a question. He will come and live with me.
Yeah.
And even he has said it. I've asked him also, what's going to happen to you after your parents are no more? He
What
said,
did he
they're
say?
dying? I said, not now, whenever they die.
Well, there is time for them to die.
I said, but they will die before you. So yeah, you have to think, what do you want to do? You know, because we don't ask them these questions.
Yeah, of course.
And we just presume that.
We don't ask ourselves this question, to be honest with you. We think we are living for them forever.
And it's not going to be.
I know.
You know.
I know.
So I think I've been saying it for the longest time that UAE needs like a respite center as well as a residential home.
Uh-huh.
You know, it would be amazing. So they have, and you know, and you have to do it when you're still alive.
I know.
So you have the access to the camera, you can see what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it would be such a nice, because then he's living amongst his, you know, he watches what, they all like the same things on TV. They love all these memes. He'll keep sending me some meme, which I don't understand. I just say ha 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 because I'm supposed to laugh.
It, yeah.
I don't know what it is. And he knows that I'm just faking it.
Ah,
He said,
okay.
did you watch my meme? I said, yeah, it was damn funny. I
And
didn't
you don't watch
understand
it,
it.
yeah.
So, you know, but when you are with your own people, it makes such a big difference.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I never thought of it. Yani, this is like a new idea to me today. You're telling me this. Maybe one day we never know.
Yeah. And we can start with sending him first on a holiday.
Alone.
Alone.
Let me do it myself first, Gulshan. I never traveled alone, to be honest with you.
No, like there are, you know, holidays, especially with people with disabilities, where they go on their own.
Okay.
You know, they can go on a cruise. He came with us on the cruise. He had a lot of fun.
Okay. I think together they can manage.
Yeah,
same
but
disability, yeah.
strangers
Yeah, I understand.
with people with
Yes.
disabilities, and they all go together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be amazing. You know, the more we expose him out of his comfort zone,
The easier it becomes, yeah.
for him it
Yeah,
will be
the whole-
easier.
yeah.
You know, right now he's very comfortable. He's been coming to my house for the longest time. Right now we are working from my house because the studio is
Yes.
under repairs.
Okay.
Every day he would drive with the driver. I said, but why can't you just do it? Why can't you just come on your own?
That's before, you mean?
Yeah.
Now he does it, yeah.
I know, but he said, what if I get lost? I said, Abdullah, nobody's better than you with GPS than you are. So one day he came home and he said, I've forgotten my, for his asthma, the
Okay.
puff. I said, here, take my keys and go to the pharmacy and buy it. You know where the pharmacy is. He's saying, what if I get lost coming back? I said,
did.
put the GPS. And he did that, but it took him a little longer than normal.
Yeah.
And our colleague Zara, she started panicking. What if he's gone to another Arabian ranch and he's lost? I said, if he's lost, he'll find his way.
Yes, he will find his way.
Yeah.
True.
And he had stopped to buy a coffee. He was drinking his coffee. But he's an adult, right? He doesn't have to call and tell us, listen, I'm buying a coffee. So
he tells you this, you mean? He, says, he doesn't.
He doesn't
Okay,
need to. He doesn't need to. He just stopped for a coffee. He was drinking his coffee. Then he came. And he said, from tomorrow, I'll bring my own car.
That's when he started driving to your house.
And then he started driving. And then I wanted to see for myself, how is his driving? You know?
Okay.
And I said, Abdullah, can you just drop me to Jumeirah? I gave him the location. Amal is like the safest driver ever. You know? Never driving in the first two lanes.
Okay.
But he plays his music. We can't change the music, whatever it is.
He forces you to listen.
Then he wears his sunglasses. And then he shakes his head while he drives. And he doesn't want to talk to anybody. But he's so good. You
Driving.
know? Yeah.
I've never been with him in the car.
Please go.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Maybe he won't let me. Abdullah.
And then people say that people on the spectrum, they don't have any empathy, they're not kind. So, Abdullah's struck. So, we had gone to the immigration office. Abdullah is in his kandura.
Okay.
And I am trying to get into the car, which is very high for me. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put my foot up.
Okay.
So he just came, he lifted me, and then he made me sit. I did not say anything to him. And I said, Abdullah, not here. Don't lift me like that. He said, how else to put you in? You're struggling. So he just made me sit. And he said, if Zara comes in my car, because Zara has autism,
Yes.
how will she sit? So I'll have to lift her also. Next day, I did not ask him. I did not say anything to him. I just said, okay, I'm really grateful that you're there to help me get down also now. Next day, he had gone to the accessory market.
Okay.
He spent 3,500 dirhams, his own money. He put the...
to fix that one,
Yeah.
like his father's car, the Range Rover.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised. Why did he do it?
For me.
For you.
And for Zara.
Okay.
But the thing is, we never asked him.
Laila, I know, I'm sure he didn't.
And he showed empathy towards us. And he said, I realize that y'all can't get, y'all are so short. So both of you can't get in my car, and I want you to get in. I want you to sit with me. And he went and put this.
Okay.
And I said, Abdullah,
Nice of him
that's
to do this.
really
Honestly,
sweet
very
of
nice,
you.
Sweet of him, yeah.
So every time somebody says, oh, they don't care, but it's not true.
No, they do care. They do care. Maybe they don't show it, but they do. They do. He's very kind, by the way.
Very kind.
Yeah.
Even with my daughter, Zara, who's disabled, and he's so kind with her. He says, again, Zara, walk properly, do this. He's always telling her, except when she makes one sound which he doesn't like. He says, can you go up? Zara, go up and sit because it's too annoying, your sound. So there's so much to learn from this guy.
From Abdullah, I know.
Do you see the traits in your other kids as well? Do they get along as siblings?
You mean my my daughters and my son?
Yeah.
Now yes. Before, when they were kids, no. Just Sheikh and I, my daughter, but the rest, no.
But
Faisal,
did
no.
Haifa understand, or she was too young herself?
No, none of them did. None. And later on.
But did you tell them that he has autism?
I didn't know myself that he had autism, to be honest with you. But I used to shout at him. They used to tease him. They thought it was a joke. And he used to scream. And he didn't like Faisal, because Faisal, he has a habit. When he was a kid, he used to tease even his sister, Haifa. And he used to do the same to Abdullah. And Abdullah gets mad at him. And he used to just isolate himself from... Whenever Faisal comes, he just runs away to hide from him. So because they don't understand, they were still kids. They thought it was a joke to tease him or just to make him angry.
Yeah, he said, Faisal used to press my stomach.
Yes.
So I said, now you go and do that.
Yes.
Both of you have six-packs now. Go do it to each other.
That's why there was no contact with Faisal, nor with Haifa. Haifa was alone. She didn't tease him or something, but Faisal. He used to do, because he was the eldest, he used to do
with the others
for the
as
rest.
well.
Yeah, so this is Abdullah.
And this is the mom who really, you've done a fantastic job, Amal.
Thank you.
I hope more and more parents learn from you. And
Inshallah.
yeah, it's what you've achieved is amazing.
Thank you. And you took over later on when he went to Mawahib and now to this. So I appreciate this to you as well, Gulshan. You did hard work as well.
It's hard work. People don't understand.
He wasn't easy.
No.
Until now, when he gets angry and about temper, and he's very stubborn, Gulshan, very stubborn. I swear.
Tell me about it.
Sometimes when I tell him something and I want to do it, and he does not want to do it, okay, yeah. And he just leaves me and goes. But when I force him something to do with his work, I force him to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, whether he likes it or he doesn't like it, he does it.
Even for the cooking, so we have the SFS cooking class, which is run by Anju, our volunteer. And I wanted him to join it. And he said, there's no way I'm going to do this. I am not going to do it. I said, first thing for you is always a no. That's fine. You will do it and you'll enjoy it. And he said, I am not going to do it. And then I called you and you said, but why? Why do you want him to learn cooking?
I was surprised as well. Why?
But you see him now.
Of course.
He loves it.
He loves it, yeah. And he gives the lists in advance, the day before, for the nannies to bring the grocery for him.
He puts himself on mute, but we can see, Jacqueline, Bilya, do this. So but he loves it. He loves eating vegetarian food. Everything is changing,
And he keeps it for dinner as well, lunch and dinner. Don't touch it, this is my dinner. I cooked it, okay, Abdullah.
And, just pushing him a little bit, I think it works with everybody.
It works, yeah.
That, no, you have to do it. And now I've learned, if we have an event, which is from 9 till 12, I just tell him it's till 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if it'll finish at 12.
Okay.
If it's finishing, if it's finishing at 12, it's very good. Then I tell him, see, you finished early. But now I've learned to say, when we did the expo, when Abdullah was in the expo movie, and that went on, and I had given him one time, and then he said, come what may, I'm not going to do it. And he went in, they had a van for him, a vanity van.
Okay.
Where they came and did hair and makeup for Abdullah. And he went on the bed and he went to sleep.
He slept?
Yeah. And then they're saying, okay, now we're ready for the shoot. It had to be done in the night. It finished at 1 in the morning. And I said, Abdullah, please get up. He said, I am not getting up. Khalas, I've finished with my... I said, you have to get up and do it. And then I bribed him with ice cream and food, but that was what we had to do. And then it worked, thank God. Because, it was a beautiful shoot.
I know.
And he said, khalas, I'm not doing it. So, yeah.
Sometimes he gets fed up, no? Especially when long...
But so now I've learned to just say a longer time with him.
You have to be sometimes smart how to deal with Abdullah, no? Otherwise...
I'm also learning.
I know.
He is a bit scared of you and me. He listens to both of us, but he's also...
He has his own way of saying yes, no, yeah. And he does it. At the end, he does it.
Yeah.
Even if he give us a headache sometimes, but he does it.
And then one day, I'm just sitting opposite him, and he comes to me and he says, oh my God, this is so, your skin needs to, you need to do something, it's all falling down. So, and then I was recording and I was just having fun. And then he said, why can't you just look like my mother?
Oh my God.
I said, because I'm not your mother. He said, but I want you to look like her. So, it was so sweet that he even said that sentence, and it was a big honor for me.
They don't hide anything. They just say what they feel. Sometimes embarrassing.
I know, but that's Abdullah.
Yes, Abdullah.
And the whole world should get to know him. I'm so impressed with everything he's achieved so far. And of course, there's so much more coming. We don't even know, what's in his future.
Of course. We just have to wait and see.
So thank you so much for being here, Amal. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you too, Gulshan. Thank you.
And friends, hope you enjoyed this podcast with the famous Abdullah's mom, Amal.
Finally, you convinced me to come, Gulshan.
Thank you.
Gulshan, you've been trying
for the longest time.
Yes, finally we did it. Thank you so much,
Thank
Gulshan.
you. Thanks.
Thank you.